Good morning. My name is Miranda Lopez. I'm Director of Community Partnerships, and I oversee the Avondale, Thomas, and Rio East locations. I have with me today two of my site coordinators, and I wanted them to take a leadership role in kind of explaining what we do at the locations and a little bit about the unique flavor of each of our community-based locations. We are part of the Community Development Department. We are part of one of 8 or more community-based sites. If you haven't visited our sites, I encourage you to please do so because you get a very different perspective of another aspect of Rio Salado. Thomas's grand opening will be on November 28th. I do cordially invite you all to come if you're able to. So first, I want to present Marina Bilgin. Marina is our site coordinator at Avondale, and she will tell you a little bit about that location. And then following Marina will be Dominic Porter. Dominic is our site coordinator at the Thomas location and has also been immersed in getting us open as of August of this year. So without further ado, Marina.
Well, first of all, welcome to Rio. Hopefully you'll enjoy working here as much as I do, and I'm sure all of us do. Like Miranda mentioned, I'm here to tell you about the Avondale location. The location opened in February of 2008, so we've been open for a little over 4.5 years, and the building is around 12,000 square feet, which is not a lot, but it's not a huge location, but it's very busy. So let me tell you what we offer. Here are our departments and some of the services we offer. There is a large testing center where Rio students can come in to take midterms and finals. Anybody can come in to take the college placement exam called AccuPlacer. There's no charge for that. We also offer proctored exams, as well as HESI and some other criterion and some other special exams that students can just do on a walk-in basis. Avondale also has a computer lab for Credit Rio students where they can work on their class assignments, homework, they can get technical help, and so forth. We have a visiting advisor and counselor. The advisor is there every Wednesday. He comes from Tempe, and our counselor is there on Thursday afternoons. All those are by appointment. But still, it's very convenient for students living in the West Valley. They don't have to come all the way to Tempe. They can just see the advisor and counselor at Avondale. We recently added math tutoring to the services we offer. Now we have math tutors for credit students every Wednesday night and Saturday mornings. No appointment is necessary for that. And of course, we have the College Public Safety Department keeping us safe out there. The busiest program that we offer at Avondale is the Adult Basic Education Program, or ABE, which offers 2 different kinds of classes. GED preparation classes, GED stands for General Educational Development, and ELA classes, which stands for English Language Acquisition for Adults, to help people improve their English skills. Both the type of classes are free and available for legal U.S. residents. Just to give you an idea of the growth of Avondale in the last 4 years, when it opened, there were 233 registered ABE students, and last year we had 917. So huge growth, but unfortunately there's not much room to grow because we are literally bursting at the seams. If you walk in the middle of the morning or evening session, you'll see that every single room and corner sometimes and the student lounge is occupied by some kind of activity or class, which is great, but sometimes we wish a second floor was added on to the original building. ACE and transition program is also very busy at Avondale. ACE stands for Adults Achieving a College Education, and it's a program that helps GED students transition into post-secondary education. Basically, GED students have an opportunity to be concurrently enrolled in the ABE classes, still working on their GEDs, and get a head start on their college career by taking some of the college classes. at the end of the program, ideally, they will have their GED, and they will have 24 college credits towards their certificate or degree. And the program offers flexible schedules, in-person classes offered at Avondale, and tutors and advisors specifically for ACE students. Currently, we have 2 cohorts of ACE students running, and in January, there will be another one for a total of 3, which I think it's the busiest site with the ACE program. All right, another thing we offer is the computer classes in Spanish. It's pretty self-explanatory. They help students with their computer skills, and the classes are taught 100% in Spanish. These are not free. They're $80 for 16 3-hour sessions, which is a bargain, and anybody can, there are no restrictions on who can enroll to these classes. So that's it as far as what we offer. Now, contacts. I would be the #1 contact for the Avondale location. I'm the site coordinator. I oversee the location as a whole, as well as the ABE program. My right hand is Ina Severe, the office coordinator. She supervises the testing center and helps me oversee the location. She actually helped me a lot creating this PowerPoint, so I promised her I'll give credit. Hi, Ina. We have Michelle Coleman, who is the instructional facilitator and supervises the community computer lab. And below are the 3 location-specific numbers: the testing center, computer lab, and ABE program. There is also a website that you can visit if you have more questions about our location. And you're always free to call me. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Where we are, the physical address is 420 North Central Avenue in Avondale. And I wanted to show you where we are in relation to the Tempe location. So it's basically around 27 miles one way on I-10. We're off of Dysart Road. And depending on whether you like to speed or not, it takes anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes to get there. All right. What's new? As I mentioned, we just added math tutoring to the services we offer. We are very happy about that. ABE Congress is a student leadership body. Last week, we had elections in all ABE classes where students ran for Congress. And the idea is that they will discuss issues pertaining to the center. They will help us organize student activities like holiday potluck. They will help us maintain student bulletin boards, and ideally in the future, they'll be able to advocate for the ABE program at the legislature to make sure the legislators understand the importance of the program and hopefully vote for keeping the funding so that the program stays free. We're proud of our community building activities. One of them is semi-annual all-location potlucks, during which we don't only share the delicious food, but there are always certain activities planned, Jeopardy, board games, other things where employees from different departments can get to know each other and have fun together. We also send out a monthly birthday emails with everybody's birthday that month. And we used our SharePoint as a team or community building tool. I checked earlier, this link doesn't work because the access is restricted. We use it only within Avondale, but we share pictures, events, announcements, calendars, and we really use our SharePoint a lot. Finally, one other thing I'd like to mention in this section is the ABE Stats to Date Bulletin Board. The ABE program has a number of targets that we have to meet or exceed at the end of every year in order to secure funding for next year. So we always are trying to come up with different motivational tools on how to make sure our staff and teachers are engaged and are looking for ways to meet those targets. So this was one of them. This is what it looks like. On the left, it lists all the different targets that the feds are looking for. These are our statistics related to those targets, and these are the targets. So you can easily see if we're below or above or where we are. So we update it on a regular basis. So we're hoping that it motivates not only the staff and teachers, but the students as well, because they know that they'd rather not pay for classes if they can get them free. So we also list all the GED recipients on the same board today. And this was adopted by community development to use at other locations as well. All right, our super staff. When I was asked to come up with some examples of customer astonishment, it was really hard because you know, I hope you will visit Avondale one day, and I'm sure you will feel that friendliness and home-like atmosphere. People working there really like working with each other and working at that location, and I really feel that it translates to their work. So it was hard to come up with just one example. They're really warm and accommodating to all students and to each other. But we do have actual awards that some of the staff members received recently. Hilda Aguirre, who is our ABE clerk, was named Support Staff of the Year in last year's ABE Programs All-Star Awards. And she was also named Support Staff of the Year at the recent ALL conference that was held here at Rio. ALL is Arizona Association for Lifelong Learning. We also have Beatriz Montes de Oca Valadez, who was named Rookie of the Year at the All-Star Awards, and Socorro Garcia, who was the Teacher of the Year. So we really swept most of the awards last year. All right, and here are some pictures of our staff, the ABE program, our testing department. This is Ina, by the way. Our advisors and counselors, Janita is the ACE advisor, Floyd is our Rio advisor, and Dr. Tees is the counselor. This is our computer lab staff, college public safety, and that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me here. I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about what we do here at Thomas. I think Marina set a great example of what they do at Avondale, and what we try to do is emulate and build on what they do. So I'll go ahead and get started. So just some basic information about Thomas. We are one of the newest locations for the community development, a part of Rio. We opened in August, actually August 1st, which was really awesome. And we're located 3631 West Thomas Road, which is somewhat West Phoenix, not quite as far as Avondale, so we're kind of in between. And our current operation hours 8 to 9 Monday through Thursday, as well as 8 to 5 on Fridays and Saturdays. We're approximately 22,000 square feet, which is pretty large. We are a 2-story building. When people ask how to get to our location, I just say follow the giant 2-story building with giant glass windows. Hopefully people don't get lost. And we are across from Spot 127, which is a partnership with KJZZ, and it's a youth media production operation, so it's really awesome. And currently, we have over 500 students enrolled in just 2 months of operations. So we're really excited about that, and hopefully we will double that within the next 2 months, if not 3, pushing for 2. So just to talk about a little bit about our Thomas team, don't look at the picture down there, it's really foolish. But we have quite a bit of players at our location, including myself. I am the site coordinator. We have an office coordinator as well as an instructional specialist, which oversees the operations of our educational services, in addition to having lead teachers and instructors as well. So we have quite a large number of people, but they all do a fantastic job and really help us work and operate successfully every day. All right, so some of the programs and partnerships that we offer at Thomas include our ABE programs. So as Marina was talking about, the GED programs, free preparation for students interested in obtaining their GED. And it's a really great service because they really seem to enjoy it and learn a lot from that experience. And in addition, to GED classes at other locations, we have what's called a Student Success Seminar, which is a fantastic orientation for all new students. It's a 4-day orientation when basically they learn not only how to be successful within their GED classes, but how to be successful as a student, how to develop a career plan that works for them, and how to be successful beyond college. Our focus at our location is not just get your GED, it's get your degree, go on and get your PhD. When I talk to students, I say, I hope to see you with a PhD in about 10 years. So that's the expectation. And then we also have a wonderful program called TET, Transforming Education Through Technology, which is an opportunity for students to take GED classes in a hybrid online manner as well. So they take 1 day in class, and then they take the rest of their hours online. And it helps them really get through the program a lot quicker, as well as come more accustomed to technology, which is the Rio Way, of course. And then we have our English classes, so our ELA, which is another free service provided for students interested in learning how to acquire the knowledge of English language, okay? And then what's really awesome is we have a sustainable foods program, and I'll show you a little bit more about that, which is a wonderful program where students can learn about not only how to be sustainable within their cooking practices, but also how to be sustainable within their community, to go out to local areas, local gardens, local farms, and to replenish that and, to be very conscious of how they obtain their food source, but also what they do upon using it. And then we have a dental assisting program currently. It's a dental hygiene, but we will be having dental assisting, and they have their own lab. And it's really amazing. They have technology in there, as well as a mini lab and a classroom. So we have a wide variety of classes offered at our location. And then here's a picture of some of our students. Recently, we had a social networking event, and they really seem to enjoy that and get to know one another and discuss just different things that are happening in our location. So some of the partnerships, as I talked about, Spot 127, KGZZ, which is a youth media project, which is absolutely amazing, where they have local high school students, 14 through 18, who get to go to this location and work on journalism, digital media, graphic design, and that program is actually provided for them, which is amazing. If you get a chance to visit their facility, please do so. I'm very jealous because they have Macs, and I'm a Mac person. But they really do a great job of helping students, become accustomed to technology and learn how to be journalists. And then we have green technologies, which is coming soon. So things that are sustainable as well. That is our goal, sustainable. So sustainable technology, solar panel, any innovative ideas to use technology in a respectful way to the environment, but also be very resourceful and not make a large impact on the community or the environment. And then we have ACE, as Marina talked about, to transition students not only through their GED, but also through college, which is our goal. It's not just GED, it's your college, it's your PhD, every time, PhD. And then we will also, in the future, offer other post-secondary pathways so that students, understand that they are appreciated and advised and encouraged beyond just our location. Okay. So some exceptional services, we were talking about astonishing customer stories. I think all of our stories are exceptional. I think we strive every day to, not only serve our customers, benefit them, but also understand that they're part of our family. From the minute they walk into the building, they're part of our family and we're there for their success. So some of the things that we do offer is testing center. So we will offer some class testing for students who are taking online classes, as well as some proctored exams. We will have advising. Right now we don't. We're still in the process of it, as well as counseling. We'll have that in the future. And what's really great is we have a computer workshop. We call it Technology Thursdays. I think it's a pretty cool title. Thomas Technology Thursdays. I came up with it, so I think it's fantastic. All right. And essentially, it's having our lab tech provide workshops for students so that they become accustomed to a computer. A lot of our students have not had the opportunity to work on a computer, and they really, really enjoy the opportunity to not only learn what a computer is, but how to use programs to benefit them not only in their daily life, but also career and future. And then hopefully we will offer some career workshops, kind of working on how to develop that. So resumes, interviewing skills, being presentable, how you dress, how you carry yourself, branding, marketing, things along those lines. We hope to help students, like I said, beyond their GED, beyond their English class. We're helping develop citizens and individuals. And then we will offer tutoring too. So that's something that we really look forward to doing to help students, within their classes as well. So some distinctive features about Thomas, which are kind of unique, is we do have a sustainable foods demonstration kitchen. So I talked about this sustainable foods program. So we do have an amazing kitchen. I mean, amazing. Looks like something that should be on the Food Network. I want to go in there and cook sometimes, but I'm not that good. But it's a fully furnished facility that helps students, apply what they learn in the class in the kitchen, And we don't have the program right now, but it will start in January. And we're really looking forward to having students in our building, but also to taste their food upon cooking. And then we also have a green technologies occupation lab. We call it the auto room because it looks like people work on cars there. But in the future, it will be a lab to figure out how to use sustainable resources for energy and technologies that, do not leave a major impact on the environment. All right, so that's my presentation there. I hope I didn't bore you all too much. I don't see any sleeping faces, so that's always good. Are there any questions that I can answer for you at this moment? Please ask anything. My favorite color is blue, yes. Well, if you do have any questions, you can feel free to contact me. I'm the site coordinator, as well as Miranda, our director, anytime. You can call our main line, or you can email us and get patched through us. And just wanted to remind you, we do have our grand opening, November 28th. It's going to be an enormous event, the biggest event this state has ever seen, ever. And we really hope to see you all there. There are a lot of great people working on planning that right now. And we would love to have you all there to see, what we do at Thomas as well as Spot 127. So I thank you all for your time. I appreciate it, and hope to see you on the 28th. Take care.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Rosalie Austin, and I work in the curriculum department. And my co-workers are Jennifer Shantz, who is faculty chair of curriculum development, digital and social media production, Marcia Naraki, who is an administrative assistant, Sherry Eves, the curriculum writer, Jessica Sensbach, curriculum technician, and myself, curriculum coordinator. We actually work next door in the tower on the 3rd floor. And our contact information, we don't have a general number. Feel free to contact me directly, but any one of us can help really with any questions. So we're pretty much casual. We're a small department, so we're open to any phone calls. We work with various departments throughout the colleges, but our main internal customers are faculty, the partnerships department, and Center for Curriculum and Transfer Articulation. And with faculty, we work with developing new programs which involve research and writing courses that meet the learning objectives of the program. And right now, currently under development, we have the AAS in adult learning, the AAS in digital and social media production, which will be actually at Dominic's facility there, and the entrepreneurship studies program. And we also work at times, there's the Sustainable Food Systems program that recently went under modification, so we'll also work with faculty in modifying programs and modifying any new courses as well. Or not new courses, but modifying courses. Then we also work on the other part of the house with the partnerships department, and we work with our partners in reviewing and evaluating their new training for the client. And what happens is we basically take that curriculum and we translate it into college credit courses for their employees. And at times, as they update all of their training materials, we'll go ahead and evaluate their training and make sure that everything's still up to par, that they're meeting all of the competencies and the objectives on that end. So in the beginning, we help develop new programs, and then continuing, we always modify courses based on their updates to any training they have. But all proposals, we have to step through an official process, and on our side for the internal review process, the first stop is we go through faculty review. So faculty get to review it, make sure that we have all information on the forms correct, and then we go ahead and push that through to the instructional councils. And the instructional councils have 10 days for review. And then when they get that back to us, then we send it to our Rio Salado Curriculum Committee, and then they have a week to review. And so all proposals from that point, all proposals from that point get pushed through, and they go to the Center for Curriculum Transfer and Articulation office, which is at the district office. And basically they have their whole review process as well. And all proposals go through that review process, and the two main steps is they go through the district curriculum committee, and then from that point, all the proposals have to go through the governing board for approval. So once they get governing board approval, then it's pretty much ready for anyone to offer here and for development further here. And I know that they asked for a customer astonishment story, and we don't have one that's specific to us, but because we have 9 sister colleges, one thing that we do pride ourselves in is that they come to us because our curriculum office, although everyone has to step through the same process, but they come to us because they like the service that we provide and that we can step it through quickly. So we do pride ourselves in that. So it's not a direct astonishing, but it's astonishment. And what's new in our department, recently, institutional integrity relocated into our area as well, and we work closely together. So Lana Dueck's gonna join in on this presentation so she can share how our two departments join together for that.
So we really are two different departments, institutional integrity and curriculum, but curriculum will never get rid of me. I worked in curriculum for 5 years before I migrated over to institutional integrity, and I recently migrated back closer to them. They're a great group of people. And so we work really, really closely together, not only physically, but our work, we dovetail constantly. So that's why we thought not only should we be together physically, but let's give our presentation together. So, how do we get this to move? There we go. In institutional integrity, it is myself, Lana Dueck. I am the coordinator, and Kim Watson, the administrative assistant. And your eyes are not deceiving you. We are a department of 2. That's right. We like to say that we are small, but we pack a punch. We are located on the 3rd floor, right next to curriculum of the tower. And what we do, we have 3 main focus areas. The first is what we call Rio CC, and that stands for the Rio Instructional and Operational Curriculum Committee. That's a really fancy way of saying that we are the hub for program development. If a faculty member or a partner has a new concept for a program, it comes through our department, and we shepherd it all the way from it being a concept and working it through a feasibility report to the Executive Council, all the way working it through the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. to make sure that it has financial aid disbursement for students. So that's how we work really closely with curriculum. We shepherd it through that entire process and hand it over to them for the internal approvals, and then we take it over again and we walk it through all of the external approvals that it would need with the Department of Education and also with our accreditor, the Higher Learning Commission. And that's on the program level. Now, with state authorization, Rio Salado, it's an online college, and probably, we don't have the exact numbers on this right now, but roughly 90%, 95% of our enrollment is in Arizona. 5% of it is outside of Arizona. And for that 5%, we have to make sure that we are abiding by the laws in those states. And so that's what Kim and I do every day, all day long. We research all the states. We make contacts with their regulators. We try to establish relationships. We try to be the face of Rio in every state besides Arizona, and find out what do we need to do in that state to be compliant, so that students that are in that state and want to have an education with Rio online can do so. And that's been a new process for Rio. The for-profits have been doing this for a long time, and there's been developments in the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. that has brought this to the forefront. So this is a very large conversation that's happening in higher education right now, and we're excited to be a part of it. Rio Salado is actively in 46 states in Washington, D.C., so 47 states. The 4 states that we are not in is an institutional choice right now, that we're not pursuing authorization in that state. But we have a large footprint outside of Arizona, and we make sure that we follow all the rules. And then in general, I just put other compliance issues. There are lots, and we try to navigate all of those. Just a couple of them are gainful employment and all the regulations that fall under the Higher Education Act. And I feel that we've done a good job if you guys never hear about them. Because if we hear about them, it's usually because there's something that fell through the cracks. So we try to make sure that Rio is doing everything we can from a federal perspective to stay compliant. We work with curriculum and financial aid. That's primarily in the program development phase. We also work with faculty and administration. A lot of that is with a faculty member. It would be with the program development, seeing through the Rio CC what their program is going to look like. Is it feasible? And then what states are we going to go into with that program? With administration, we try to provide them with accurate and timely information on regulatory issues so that they can be prepared and know how to respond. We also provide all the information and suggestions on what we should do as far as state authorization. And then we have the lovely task of working with all the regulators and on the state level, and that really has been wonderful. You know, compliance isn't always a fun thing, but we try to put, and this sounds really cheesy, and I will admit that it is, but we try to put a smile on compliance and make it a happy thing. So we really enjoy establishing those relationships and working through the legal issues, because they're there and they're not going to go away. So we might as well make it fun, and we might as well do a good job on it. And then I put students on there, and it's an easy one to forget. Unlike some of the other departments that have presented, they probably see students every day. I don't ever see a student. I see a student in the elevator. But my main goal with state authorization and the programs that go through our process is to remember that student that is in Maryland, a big state that we just worked through, that they have access to Rio, and that we're doing everything that we can so that they have good programs that have gone through all the processes that they need to be fully compliant, and that we are doing what we need to in their state so that they don't encounter an issue trying to seek access with us. What's new? Everything. We started very recently. We're not even 2 years old as a department, and it's just the 2 of us, and so everything we do is brand new. Before we started doing this department didn't exist. So we have created it as we go. Every day, it's a new day. I told my boss that the greatest opportunity I have in my job is to learn to work in a constant state of gray. We never know what's going to happen, and we're shaping the department as we go. So everything is new. Our greatest customer astonishment, I would have to say, is our public state authorization website. I was recently at a conference where a lot of us who do the work on state authorization that I do, we were all there talking about best practices in state authorization. And several times, people who didn't know me at all would bring Rio Salado College up as an example of a best practice of a college to emulate. in our state authorization. So if you get a chance, you can go to our state authorization website. It's a public website. But what's really great about it is that it's not only for students, but it's also internal. You can go on there to any state, see what our status is in the state, who the regulatory body is, and what programs we offer in that state. So that's a really user-friendly tool. And that's it.
And last but not least, we have instructional design, and we have Michael Medlock. So I'm sure you have some good stuff for us, and take it away.
Okay, I want to share Miranda's sentiment and welcome you to Rio, and hope that you have the same kind of positive experiences and the growth that I've had since I joined Rio in 2007. When I joined Rio, when I joined the Instructional Design Services Department in 2007, I was the 5th employee in the department, and so that's going to kind of set some context for where we are now, a little over 5 years later. It's good timing in that I'm following Rosalie and Lana in that all of the hard work that they do and that thorough work that they do all has to occur before any of the folks in my department can really dig into developing courses that will end up going online or taught in a hybrid fashion for our students. So here we go. Let's see, we are located, Instructional Design Services, we're located on the first floor in the Hohokam building, and when we look at the footprint of the first floor, Instructional Design Services takes up about a third, and combined with course production, we take up over half of the footprint of the first floor in the Hohokam building. So I just mentioned there were 5 of us. About 5 years ago, there are, without the part-time folks who work for our department, there are 17 of us now. I have 7 full-time instructional designers. I have a lead media developer who has 6 full-time multimedia designers as well, and those folks build the interactive objects. They put together the video and the audio presentations that go into our online and our hybrid courses. I have a project coordinator who works on research and looks into new programs. She gets ideas from faculty or from administration and begins that first step into looking into that. I have a project coordinator over editing. She's very thorough. She has 6 part-time editors, and they are always busy doing the English teacher kind of editing for the courses that we build before they go to course production, and that team puts it up online. And then I have an office coordinator as well. Our internal customers, our primary internal customers are our faculty chairs and our course production folks. The ideas for courses come through instructional design primarily from the faculty. They determine that they want to offer a program. They determine whether they want to add or change particular classes within their departments. And so that initial discussion really kicks off a development project that ultimately will end up online for our students. Some of our other internal customers include faculty services. We work with them for several different reasons. Most common, it has to do with textbook topics. Let's see, we work with the library. Hazel Davis and Kirsten Thomas work closely with our course developers and our instructional designers to handle issues related to copyright and licensing, and that's very important. Course support provides us information that we need when it comes to the student information portion of the instruction. And course production we work with on a minute-to-minute basis. They are located right next to us, and we just as often get up and walk over and speak with the folks in course production as we do IM or email. So what do we really do? It's interesting because I'll ask my son or my daughter what they tell their friends or their teachers that I do, and they don't know. And what we really do is we take the process of an idea for our course or a set of courses from that initial concept to the point where we hand it off to the course production folks who will actually do the technical part of placing the course online. What that means is We help a faculty chair find a subject matter expert, a developer, or a course writer, and walk them through the steps of writing, of taking curriculums, course description, and competencies that have already been approved, and helping a developer or a course writer write objectives for each lesson, determine the assessment pattern, brainstorm ideas for the multimedia to use in the course to support the instruction, and to write the assessments. The graphic here is the workspace that my team uses. It's a SharePoint-based system to track all of the projects that they handle, and ultimately they turn into the courses that students will access through Rio Learn. That's this graphic here on the right. We develop mostly internet-based, so all online courses. However, we do develop a number of hybrid mixed media and print courses as well. Like I said, we work closely with Rio's faculty chairs and course production folks to create and modify courses. Our capacity has grown out of necessity. In 2009, instructional design touched 206 courses. Of those, 136 were big projects. This year, we will have almost doubled that 3 years later, and we already have in our course life cycle 115 new or major projects that will go live in January or March of 2013, which means at this point we're almost finished with those projects because we've handed them off to course production, and it's that team right now that is working with the HTML and the coding and the other software to get those courses ready for students to start January 7th or the March start. So what is the process like? This is a simplified version of my department's process for handling a particular development project, and it's basically having a kickoff meeting with our faculty and our developer, our subject matter expert, to determine timelines, milestones. We write the contracts, the special services contracts for those developers, and do some initial training with those developers who are typically outside of Rio to learn how to use the system. The majority of work, however, occurs during this development phase, and there is constant communication between the instructional designer and the course developer to work on things such as alignment so that the instruction, the objectives, and the assessments all match up along the way, that we're using sound pedagogy in development of those courses, and take the opportunity to really be creative with our media folks to come up with the interactions that online instruction allows us to do. After those 3 to 8 months, depending on the length of the size of the course or the development project, we hand it to the editors who take 2 weeks to do that editing. And then we basically kind of stand back after we hand the course to production, and they do their work for 1 or 2 months to actually build the course. We may answer some questions from time to time as the technicians work on the lessons or the assessments, but at some point, when we get pretty close to the go-live date for the course, we'll get a notification from course production that it's now ready for our final review. And we have some important review meetings where the instructional designer, the faculty chair, and the subject matter expert will now look at the course the way a student would see it at that point. So they go right into the learning management system, into Rio Learn. We make sure that it matches the vision of the faculty chair and that subject matter expert. We make any final changes, and then we tell course production to go ahead and flip the switch and make the course live for students. So what's new and now? The big initiative in which my department is involved at this point is Rio Learn 8. It's the next major upgrade or update to our learning management system. We've made some pretty significant cosmetic changes and navigation changes within the LMS so far in this process. We are right at the doorstep now of changing the way that we manage the content behind the scenes for Rio Learn itself, moving to what we're calling a database type system, which is going to make our delivery of content much more efficient. And more importantly, it's going to allow us to design courses that are personalized and adaptive to individual learners. That's something that we really can't do the way that we serve content at this point. So it's exciting to us, but it's kind of exciting in a nerdy way. Rio Commons is an initiative for open educational resources. We just rolled out riocommons.org, which is a Rio-sponsored website that will house all of our OER content that's open to the world, to look at the content that our faculty chairs decide to place on that website. There are many reasons that our faculty will want to use that. We have right now, the amount of content is small, but we expect that it's going to grow pretty rapidly once faculty realizes the way that they're able to use it with their current students and as a means to show people outside of Rio what's available to them when they enroll. What else? And then the other big initiative that's going on in my department is I have a full-time instructional designer who was hired to work on the TACT grant work, as well as a media designer, a full-time media designer. And Rio Salado is the lead college among 6 colleges responsible for the instructional design services for all of the new development under this grant. Rio has completed its first round of development, those courses in which we were responsible for developing from scratch, and they are what we're calling bridge courses that we have taken some of the outstanding work that our ABE folks have done. We've worked with this instructional designer and placed a lot of that online, so now it can be utilized either in the classroom as a hybrid course or purely online. Let's see, if you have any questions, I'm the main contact, but if you walked down the hallway and you spoke with any of the folks in my department, they would be more than happy to talk to you about what we all consider the very cool things related to instructional design. Jared Trutsky is my lead media designer, and he is always very enthusiastic to talk about the ideas that we have as a department, as well as the current work that we've done. He's led some projects such as our microscope that we use for some of our lab courses. That it's a virtual microscope, and it's as close to experiencing being in a lab looking in a microscope as you could possibly get in an online environment. And that's it. Thank you.